We ain't got no goddamn band. We don't need no shit-ass manager neither. Or if you're gonna call the police, use the fucking phone.
What numbers do you push?
Now, to call the police, you just dial 911. Are you sure he's dead?
Yes, ma'am. That second whack like to cut his head plumb in two. Rosie, I'm gonna need you to get them whores out of that closet. I got CPS on the phone again. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow.
That dude that plays, you don't watch Yellowstone, do you?
No, I watched like the first episode.
The dude that plays Rip Wheeler, he was actually in Good Will Hunting. He played one of the buddies, one of Matt Damon and Ben Affleck's homies.
All right.
Yeah. Looks totally different.
All right, here we go.
And Rip's a badass. Here we go. Let's do a deal.
I want me some glory hole.
Mike Taylor Live is presented by Texas Cheer Liquor. And now, live from San Antonio, Mike Taylor.
Yes. Oh, my God. It's Wednesday. Oh, my goodness. How you boys doing? It is time for People I Want to Punch Wednesday, presented by the Office of Orlando Kell. Can't do this show without Texas Cheer Liquor and Orlando Kell and SA City Soccer and R&R Auto Glass. And appreciate you boys. Thankful to all of the Thunderdomers that have decided to make this daily show a part of your routine. Whether you watch it 4 days a week or once a month, God bless Thunderdome, who gave me the opportunity to have an outlet in this town. And certainly couldn't do it without you boys watching, and definitely would not be doing it without my partners. I am thankful to Thunderdome. It has been a long, almost 6 months here since I quit iHeartRadio on my own. The jury remains out on whether or not that was the right move in the long haul. In the near to fear, it was the right decision by me. It's been a wild almost 6 months. And matter of fact, on December the 9th, that is when my no-compete clause lifts at iHeart. Even though I quit on my own, you can't just dump a radio station and go somewhere else. Not that I'm looking to go anywhere else at this point. You never say never. But on December the 9th, it will have been 6 months since I left iHeartRadio and have been exclusive podcast only. So on this eve of Thanksgiving, here on Mike Taylor Live, presented by Texas Cheer Liquor, I am thankful to Thunderdome and our broadcast partners. And let's get right into it. You can jump on here and jump in. You can jump on here with a chat. You got anybody you want to punch? Comment on any and all things seen and heard on this show. You want to bring something to the table that you want to get off your chest? Go right ahead and do it. But our primary focus on this particular program, which, by the way, I'm in a giving mood because it is Thanksgiving. We're going to do a members-only show today at 11:15. So we're going to do this show. Take a quick break, go in there and drop a deuce, come back in here, refill the coffee, and we're going to do a members-only show. So I think I'm going to show thanks and give thanks to the members only at 11:15. For those of you that pay the $6 a month to become a member, you get all of our members-only content that we do in addition to this free show every day. And I appreciate you boys because we couldn't be having those shows either without our members. So at 11:15, members only. But now, our focus on this particular show is People I Want to Punch Wednesday, presented by the Law Office of Orlando Kell. If you are in need of a good, strong, hard fart lawyer, I can scarcely think of a better person in this world to call on, certainly in this town. or the law office of Orlando Kell, who specializes in family law. He can do anything you want, but they have a family law practice over there that they're super proud of. If you are about to get divorced, someone's filed against you, you're about to have to go through it. The majority of us, at some point in our lives, probably will wind up going through it. Just about everybody I know has been divorced at least once. If you've already gotten... I know you have. I know you. That's how you get all those millions of dollars you've used to live off of the last 10, 15 years. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, LG's the rare example of the man that gets paid. That's badass. She must have been a real whore if he got paid. But anyhow, if you've already been divorced, it's possible that maybe you've got issues with your ex, especially if you got kids, because maybe the visitation needs to be changed, or something in the decree needs to be changed, or someone's trying to move, and whatever it might be. My boy Orlando Kell, you got problems with the Attorney General? God knows I've had those too. It is Orlando to the rescue for daddies. All right, let's get into it. I want to punch a woman in the face, not exact. Thank you. Not for real. And I take for granted that on occasion we actually have new Thunderdomers that may not get all of our bits. This is called People I Want to Punch Wednesday, presented by the Law Office of Orlando Kell. If there's anybody in this world that you could punch and get away with it, who might that person be? And why are you looking to punch them? That is the purpose of Wednesday. I'm going to punch the noted pop star, the Colombian sensation Shakira, for being a goddamn tax evader. You've been to Spain. You love Spain. Spain's one of your favorite countries, LG.
Yeah.
Explain to me why the celebrities that moved there to do things in Spain refuse to pay their taxes.
I have no idea. I don't know anything about the tax system over there, but the country's beautiful.
Her ex-husband, a Spaniard, who was she married to? Not Busquets. The name Piqué, Gerard Piqué. He played for Barca. You've seen Piqué play in person. You just didn't know it.
Yeah. Vamos, Barca.
And Barca, he didn't pay his taxes either. Lionel Messi, he didn't pay no taxes. Neymar, he didn't pay taxes. What's to do with these celebrities not paying their taxes to the Queen of Spain? Shakira, for 5 years, has been accused of not paying taxes in Spain. And for 5 years, she has denied it. This is bullshit. I never skip my taxes. I always pay my taxes. Is that how they speak in Colombia? It was kind of like that, isn't it? I pay all my taxes. Well, so she's like, no. And the government's like, no, you haven't paid taxes. You owe money. So she shows up in court in Barcelona. And guess what she did? She went ahead and settled. Oh, okay. So you didn't pay any taxes. For 5 years, she's maintained her innocence only to strike a last-minute deal with the government.
She was seeing if she could just, slide under the table there.
She probably played the dumb card. Oh, I just didn't know. Okay. She told the magistrate, Jose Manuel del Amor, that she accepted the agreement she reached with prosecutors. She answered yes to confirm her acknowledgement of 6 counts of failing to pay Spanish government 14.5 million euros between 2012 and 2014. The trial was expected to include over 100 witnesses that were going to testify against her. And so she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I pay. And so Shakira is to receive a suspended 3-year sentence. She's going to pay a fine of 7.3 million euros in fines, in addition to the previously unpaid taxes and interest. So rather than just pay your taxes, she, for 5 years, denies it. And at the end of the 5 years, she's going to have to pay all that back tax, plus the interest that is accrued for 5 years, plus the 7 million euro fine that has racked up because she didn't pay. Yeah, it bit her in the ass.
She got the money.
Although a lot of y'all would like to bite Shakira in the ass, I'm sure this is not the kind of ass biting that she wants. This is not the kind of ass biting that anybody wants to have. She's going to be about 20 million euros less after today. That ain't too good. All right, so punch her ass for evading taxes. Whatever it is, these people that go over to Spain just forget to pay taxes. It's unbelievable. I guess because she was living there. She was married to Piqué. They had kids there. So she was probably working there and just didn't pay any damn taxes.
I mean, give me a visa. I'll pay taxes in Spain.
Shit, yeah. Is it hard to expat to Spain? She married a Spaniard, so I guess it wasn't hard for her. I'm sure you've looked into it.
Unless you got millions like her. I mean, she doesn't even have to marry anyone. If you got $500,000, you can get a golden visa. You can just buy it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So if you have money, you're good.
Oh,
otherwise, you got to have a job or marry in or whatever.
Yeah, and not to mention the EU gives you access to all those countries, so you don't have to just stay in your country as well. So
hop on a train, go to France for a minute.
Yeah,
it's nice to be rich. All right, Holmes, is there anybody that you are punching today and why?
Yeah, I want to punch you.
Ah, balls. Why?
Mike Taylor, Jr., second base.
Do you remember when you dropped your coffee from like 100 feet in the air the other day in my kitchen?
Yeah, I thought I cleaned it.
Yeah,
I
didn't see that happen, but I've been cleaning up. I've been coffee in places that I wouldn't expect to find coffee, like the ceiling.
Did it get on the ceiling
The
too?
refrigerator, which was on the other side of the kitchen from where you're standing. I heard it spill, but it must have been like a nuclear explosion.
It was, dude. It was one of those grandes too. It wasn't a small coffee, and I had just gotten it. I had taken one sip of the damn thing. It was one of those sticky ass grande light milk espresso oat milk. Grab my ass, stack shit, latte. Yeah, one of those $7 coffees that cost more than a membership to this show. I had it sitting on the counter the other day. He was in here. I was in there talking to his brother, Mike.
No.
And I was, you know me, dude, I get talking and I flail my arms. I've done this so many times in my life. It will happen many times again. It's just part of who I am. I'm an arm talker. And I'm in there. I look like one of those wacky inflatables out front of a car lot when I get rolling. And I hit my coffee, and it went. It tumped over, and it went lid down. Boom! And when it hit, it bounced up in the air, and coffee just went just everywhere. You know. And I used pretty much all of your paper towels in your kitchen to sop it, and then your brother went and got a little Swiffer thingy, a little mop.
Yeah, I'm going to punch you for that too.
And I was in there using that. And he took over. He's like, no, dude, you got to show I can do it. I'm like, man, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, there's more to the story there with that Swiffer.
Did I ruin it?
No.
What happened?
My brother took the Swiffer from you.
Yeah.
And then he pressed the button.
Yeah.
You've never used a Swiffer before, dude?
Oh, I didn't hit the button.
No, you didn't even know what it did.
I was just mopping.
You took the Swiffer and didn't even use the solution. You press the button and it sprays the solution. You were just mopping up coffee dry.
Yeah.
With the Swiffer.
Right. Yeah, man. Hey, man, I'm old school.
No,
I use a mop.
Then you asked my brother after he started spraying it. You heard the little machine going, and you were like, you asked him, what does it do? Does it heat it? Is that heating it? I was like, dude, you've never used a Swiffer before? Seriously?
No, never used a Swiffer. I mean, I'm old school, man. I use a mop.
Oh, jeez.
Although
so
I've
punch
learned how
you
to,
for not knowing that a Swiffer.
Well,
use a Swiffer.
In recent days, it's funny you mentioned that because I have actually learned how to use one since then. Coincidentally, I have actually found myself using a Swiffer at my apartment. I used one there, and I used one at Texas Cheer Liquor the other day, and so I've gotten familiar with using a Swiffer. Hey, man, big-time talk show host. I don't clean my own shit, but now I'm poor and unemployed, and I'm doing a podcast, so I've had to learn how to clean things.
But anyway, that coffee is literally everywhere in the kitchen.
You're still finding remnants?
Yeah, there's sprays of it like 10 feet away from where you were standing. Yeah.
It was a full cup, dude. God, I feel bad. Well, you know what? Punch me too, dude. I punched myself. I apologize. I'm sorry for that. All right, this show brought to you in part by R&R Auto Glass. If you have busted the glass in your car somehow, chipped it, dropped coffee, and it busted the window, or God knows however it happens. Maybe you ran over Shakira and her ass put a huge dent in the windshield of your car. Go get that thing fixed at R&R Auto Glass, right there by the airport at 281 in Tacoma. Make sure when you go in there, you mention us, and they will give you a Taylor Especial. Make sure you get your discount in there. They take all insurances. They're easy to find right there by the airport. They are Poodle San Antonians. Do not waste money in some national dam-based company based in some state somewhere else when you can go put money in local people's pockets. And they happen to be the absolute best in town anyway. It is R&R Auto Glass, 210-340-2588. 210-340-2588 or rnrautoglass.com. Okay, it is time for a 2023 Mike Taylor Live Bagtastic Voyage Challenge Report of 2K23. Come along and ride on the Bagtastic. I'm having to do my own sound effects these days because of copyright issues. Bagtastic. All right, we'll dedicate today's report to the memory of the dead gangsta rapper Coolio, who has lost his life in recent months. All right, Bagtastic Challenge. It is up and rolling. Got rolling yesterday, or 2 days ago, rather. And we had a very close first matchup on Monday in the number 1 overall seed Pat McAfee matchup against the number 16 seed Joe Rogan. Rogan almost upset Pat McAfee, but McAfee advances. Pat McAfee advances into the Elite Eight with 51% of the vote. The noted talk show host, Austin's own Joe Rogan, almost wins, but he loses with 49%, so McAfee is into the Elite Eight. In yesterday's matchup, the longtime legendary senator from the great state of Texas, the serpentine scumbag Ted Cruz, in the 8 versus 9 seed matchup, Ted Cruz just crushed the number 9 seed, Palestinian supporting Dallas Maverick flat earther Kyrie Irving. With 70% of the vote, Ted Cruz annihilated Kyrie. I'm surprised. I thought there might be more support for Kyrie's Bagtastic campaign in 2K23. But alas, it is Teddy Cruz who advances into the Elite Eight. Ted Cruz with a voracious amount of voters, 70%. He advances, and Ted will take on Pat McAfee in the second round. That leads us to today's matchup, which I need to post right now. I'm going to start posting these live on the air so we can get results before we get off the air today. All right, I need some bed music, LG. Here, give me some production value. I gotta type here. I'm not very good at talking and typing at the same time. All right, in today's matchup, it is the 6 versus 11 seed matchup. So what we have today is the 6 seed, the erstwhile Green Bay Packers quarterback turned New York Jets superfan after blowing his Achilles out 4 plays into his Jets career. It is Aaron Rodgers of the Nueva York Jets. He will take on the former YouTube star. See, you can get rich doing YouTube shows. Turned boxer, turned MMA fighter, Jake Paul, the 11 seed. It is the 6 seed Aaron Rodgers. He is up against number 11 seed Jake Paul. Bagtastic Voyage Challenge Round 1 matchup. I gotta type this into the poll thing on X, formerly known as Twitter. So stupid. Who's a bigger D-bag? So there it is. Boom. Posting. Post sent. It's up there. Go for it. Vote to your heart's desire. It is Jake Paul, Aaron Rodgers. And again, and I say this every day, I don't vote in this because I don't want to skew the voting. It's purely Thunderdome's contest. I just anchor it. I think Aaron Rodgers is a bigger douche than Jake Paul. And the reason for that is because Jake Paul seems like a genuine dude to me. He is genuinely a douche. He's also a bad motherfucker, boy. He's beating the shit out of a lot of people. I mean, I'm not saying I support. I'm not like a Jake Paul super fan, but he ain't got no sugar in his britches, that's for sure. Obviously, Rodgers is a future Hall of Famer at what he does for a living, but still, Rodgers is one of these guys that drives me up the wall. He makes an effort to be a douche. Rodgers is one of these guys who wakes up and tries to be cool all day long. You are not cool if you put forth the effort to be cool. Cool people just are cool, and it comes naturally to them. In the case of Rodgers, he spends way too many painstaking awake hours trying to be cool, whether it's the mustache, whether it's going into that dumbass dark room to find enlightenment. Remember that bit from earlier this year where he spent 3 days in a dark room and all he had was a toilet and someone would slip him bread and water like he was in fucking prison?
Oh, that's like those isolation treatment things. Yeah.
He was in pitch dark for 3 days. He had a mat, a crapper, and a little hole for
You
some
know, there's one of those
snacks.
places right next to Simmy's.
No shit.
Yeah, you can go in there and do like an isolation chamber thing. They have like a water one.
Are you
where you
effing
just float
kidding
in
me?
like this salt water and it's just like pitch black. It's like a tank, and you just sit there and meditate. It's crazy.
You mean the Simmy's in Balcones Heights?
Yeah, the one on Fredericksburg right
Good
there. Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah. You should,
There's
we should
people
go
in there
It's
in
good- It might
ISO.
be a good bit, yeah.
Well, I mean,
Not for 3 days, but you could do
No.
like the water tank for a few hours,
water tank. What the fuck's the water tank? You
just
lay in
get-
a water tank?
Yeah, you get suspended in like salt water. It's so salty, like the Dead Sea or whatever. You float, and you just sit there in pitch black, and like it's supposed to be like some kind of meditation or therapy.
Who are the over-ass thinking people in this town that do this to keep that thing in business?
Rich people, man.
You've
I guess.
stunned me. And if you told me that we had one of those in this town, I would not have guessed it's on Fred Road by the Simmy's in Balcones Heights. I would have guessed it was like fucking Stone Oak or...
There we go. D'Angelo's in
Dominion.
here. Sensory deprivation tank.
Whoa. See, I don't know about that. I think I'd be cool in a darkened room, but a sensory depth tank? I don't know about that. But you know what? Keep that under advisement. I want to circle back to this place you mentioned. I didn't even know it was there, obviously. But Rodgers spent 3 days in one of these dark rooms to find enlightenment. Here's why I know it's bullshit, because he had to tell the world that he was doing it. If you really are a deep thinker and you're a genuine person and you want true enlightenment, you just do that. You don't tell the world you fucking did it. You are a poser. Aaron Rodgers is a bigger douche than Jake Paul. Rodgers yesterday, he was on there with that tank-topped Pat McAfee, his BFF. Says he feels guilty that he got hurt because Zach Wilson now is completely done with the Jets. Robert Saleh has finally come to his senses and benched Zach Wilson permanently. Not only has he been demoted, he's been put to third string. He's QB3. That means he's done as a Jet. And Rodgers says he feels guilty because it's supposed to be my show, he said. And had I not been hurt, then Zach would have just been my backup and he would have learned how to be a good player from me. Okay. Zach Wilson sucks. Roger Staubach couldn't make Zach Wilson worth a shit. And Aaron Rodgers ain't no Roger fucking Staubach, damn it. Kiss my ass if you argue otherwise. How about them Cowboys? Yeah! Jake Paul, meanwhile, spent his day calling out something called Nate Diaz for not agreeing to have an MMA rematch with him. Say what you want about Jake Paul, but that dude just seems like a genuine douche to me. Rodgers tries too hard, so give me Rodgers. But I don't vote. Y'all vote in it. It's now up on Twitter, and we'll have results. I'll announce results tomorrow on Twitter. We won't have a show, obviously. All right, what else today? So there's that. Show brought to you in part by San Antonio City Soccer. The official soccer club of this show is them. Thunderdome Field is located up at the Speck Road location. We have pitches all over the city, but our field's up on the north side at the Speck Road location, where they have many, many, many soccer matches. All ages, too, from entry-level 4-year-olds all the way up to 19-year-old college level, girls and boys. It is the official soccer club of Mike Taylor Live, another partner that I'm super thankful for, the official soccer club of Thunderdome, Por Vida, San Antonio City Soccer Club. All right, we're going to be at the Ringer tonight. And all I can guarantee you is we're going to watch the Spurs. drink a couple of beers, eat a little pizza or something. Well, they got a big bathroom. Just don't get caught if you and your old lady do that. We're just going to watch the Spurs game with no expectations. It's just, it's the night before Thanksgiving. Pretty much all of y'all are probably off tomorrow. If you want a place to go water your hole tonight for a little while, before tomorrow's Thanksgiving, where you're going to be ISO'd in the deprivation tank of your dad's house or wherever you're going to spend all day with your family that's going to drive you nuts, come have a beer with me tonight. I'm going to be at the Ringer Pub, the side piece bar of the Taylor Show. I'll be there around 6:45, I'm guessing, because the tip-off is at 7. And Spurs and Clippers. They take on the Clippers in the second game of this 2 games and 3 night series with LA as the hated Kawhi Leonard leads the Clippers into the matchup against your San Antonio Spurs. And I'm going to be there for a watching party. And when we sat down with Kevin and Tyler and those guys up at the Ringer and figured out, okay, we're going to do some watch parties this season. We just figured, okay, night before Thanksgiving, people are looking to, tie one on before the next day. It's kind of a Friday night for some of y'all. Playing the Clippers, Kawhi's in town. Let's do that.
Yeah, and we may or may not have some 3 cents merch to give away.
Tell you what, let's do this. How about you prove that you want to do a members bit? Or, because it's a rando Wednesday, we just give it away to whoever wants it.
It's
just
for
give
3
it away.
cents, so
Yeah, all right, just give it away. All
Yeah.
right, cool. I'll make sure that I've got a box full of 3 Cents Podcast caps on me. You want a 3 Cents Podcast hat? I'll give you one tonight if you show up and ask for it at the Ringer this evening, where we're going to watch the Spurs, man. And I don't know regardless of how awful they are, we're going to be there. And again, who could have foreseen that it would have been this bad when we sat down before the season and picked games to go watch over at the Ringer? They are just terrible. They have a defense. I shouldn't even use that term. They don't have a defense. But defensively speaking, the Spurs are on pace to have the second worst defense in the history of the NBA, statistically speaking. Their point differential is dog shit. Their I guess the new stat, I don't know if it's new or not, but I don't want to get too data driven here and beat you over the head with a bunch of numbers. But one of the big markers that clubs look for when they determine defenses is points per 100 possessions differential. Per 100 possessions, the Spurs are like minus 12 or something. You don't need to know exactly what all that means. Just know that nobody else in the NBA is in double digits in possessions per 100 points or whatever. They're terrible is the point. The Spurs are on pace to have an even worse defense than they had last year when they only won 16 games.
It's garbage.
It is terrible. Wemby blocks a few shots, and that's about all they do on D. It is dog shit. And even Pop's, I keep calling on Pop to get pissed. And at some point, Brian Wright, the general manager, may have to step in here. But at least Pop says the right things. He may not be animated when he says it, but, last week, remember he said at some point they got to get tired of getting their ass kicked. Yesterday, Pop was lamenting the defense, saying he was actually he called out guys, which is good. Pop was saying yesterday that they don't have any leaders who can take over a game in winning time. Don't have leaders, don't have all-stars. Don't have it. Don't have an all-star guy. We don't have a Kawhi Leonard. We don't have a Luka Doncic. I can't just give things are not going well. It's winning time. It's nut cut time. I don't have Tim Duncan. I can't even give the ball. I don't have a Tony Parker. I don't have a Manu Ginobili. Hell, he don't even have a DeMar DeRozan right now. They don't have anybody on that roster because Wemby's not ready to do it yet, clearly, who can take over a game when there's adversity. They don't have it. We have seen it often already in 13, 14 games. if they don't get blown out, even in the close games, they still don't have a chance to win them because the other team's stars kick it into gear in the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, and the Spurs just get their ass kicked. They have the worst stretch time defense in the league. They have the worst defense overall in the league. And I'm glad to see Pop calling guys out. We don't have anybody who can take over a game. Just don't have it. So in order to make up for that, we have to be just fundamentally sound. Can't turn the ball over 10 times in a game. Got to make more shots. Got to get more rebounds. You got to do basic basketball fundamentals to keep you in games because I don't have anybody I can just turn the ball over. 4 down to Timmy, those days are long over. Again, he don't even have a DeMar DeRozan to give the ball to on offense right now. And it is a colossal ass whip. And I don't know what the status of Devin Vassell is tonight, but he's missed 3 or 4 games now. He's missed 6 overall because he's tweaked his groin after spending most of the year hurt last year with a bum knee. They gave him a freaking contract extension. Now all of a sudden he can't stay healthy again because of a different plight, and it hacks me off because I like Devin Vassell. He has the talent to be a guy you can give the ball to in winning time. But if he ain't out there, then what's the point in having him on the fucking team? Seriously. And in the case of Keldon Johnson, and I said this yesterday, I've watched more Spurs in the last 3 weeks than I have in the last 3 years. And so some of you, I'm late to the party on Keldon Johnson, and I apologize. But I've watched Keldon Johnson here for the better part of 3 weeks. I see a guy that puts up stats and does absolutely nothing to contribute to winning. Nothing. And maybe I'm missing out on what led him to, he wound up on the Olympic team. He ain't done shit for the Spurs. He's a 20-point, 10-rebound a night loser. That's what he is. Now, that's harsh, but he ain't. Keldon Johnson ain't that guy, and Greg Popovich knows it. That's why he said what he said yesterday. I don't have anybody I can turn the ball over to in winning time. That goes for Keldon Johnson, the Olympian, and Devin Vassell, who got the massive contract extension. And until the kid's ready, he has nobody he can turn the ball over, and the kid's only 19 years old. I saw a report this morning that Zach LaVine wants out of Chicago. And on his short list of teams that he would like to be traded to, San Antonio was on that list, according to reports. Let me say this. Hell no on Zach LaVine. And I know I just said that they don't have anybody to give the ball to in winning time, but they don't need to put lipstick on this pig because LaVine is a veteran. He's been in the league a long time. He can score points for you, but he ain't stopping nobody. You have the worst defense in the NBA. Zach LaVine he's melted water on defense. He sucks. He's DeMar DeRozan. No defense. I can score a bunch of points and my team doesn't win any playoff games. I went through that already with DeRozan. I don't want to bring in Zach LaVine. I don't want to trade anything for Zach LaVine. He's an all-star. He scores 25 points a game. He ain't a winner either. I need badasses. I need big winners with big wieners that play defense in winning time, and I need superstars that take over games on offense. I need a Black Mamba on offense, and I need Tim Duncan on defense in winning time, and they ain't even got nothing. They ain't got shit. This thing has turned into the worst team in the league, and I don't see it getting any better unless they have some lineup changes, at least temporary, to light a fire under somebody's asses. But at the end of the day, I don't know that Vassell or Keldon Johnson have the ability to get a fire lit under their ass because I think what we're seeing now is just about who they are. And to trade now for someone like Zach LaVine, I believe, would just be, it's a trapdoor on a kayak. And I don't want to do it. Just keep fighting through it. Keep getting your ass kicked. Keep developing Wembanyama and just let things happen as they happen. If you can work a trade to bring somebody, they got no point guards and they don't have any. Let's get something straight here. I've watched this thing 3 weeks. Trey Jones is a solid backup point guard on a good NBA team. Baylor's own Jeremy Sohan, that kid's so out of position, it's ridiculous, and that's on them. But they don't have anybody else. They're shorthanded at point guard. They have nobody to take over on offense down the stretch, and they have the worst defense in the league. Outside of that, we're going to have a good time tonight watching them play the Clippers at the Ringer. This thing sucks.
Fix this shit, Rich.
This thing sucks. All right, so I gotta do something positive here after that rant. I was delighted to wake up this morning and check my email and see that we had $160 going to the Red Kettle last night while I was in bed. Thank you very much, Thunderdome. Now it's official. Red Kettle season is upon us, and the $40 segment challenge has commenced. We had a handful of people donate money to the kettle yesterday, and you can donate online. I've got links out. I'll tweet a link out.
Linktree.
Yeah, it's on my Linktree. How do they get to my Linktree?
Linktree.com/Mike Taylor Show.
Excellent. I think my Instagram page has a link to the Linktree. My Twitter does too, does it not?
Yeah, it should be everywhere.
All right, there's a link to the kettle on the Linktree, and I'll post a link to each and every day, once or twice on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. Click on it, and you can donate money straight away to the Red Kettle. $40 buys you a segment. Whatever it is you want me to talk about, it could be the Spurs, it could be somebody's old lady, it could be the Coyote, it could be gopher holes in East Texas. I don't give a shit. I'm just trying to raise money for the kids of the Salvation Army here in town. $40, I'll do whatever segment you want me to do. All right, and we already have some lined up now because we had some people contribute yesterday.
What do we get for $10?
Contribute yesterday. Well, you get the satisfaction of knowing you gave $10 to the Salvation Army, but for $40, Uncle Mike will do whatever it is you want him to do. All right, so when you put the $40 in, send me a screenshot of your receipt or proof that you paid, and then tell me what the topic is you want. Shoot me a DM or whatever. Matter of fact, the one right now at the top of my Twitter feed, our old buddy Eric Price. So he put in, he put in $80. He's going to get 2 segments. I chipped into the Red Kettle.
To what?
Oh, but to Eric's, how about Eric? Eric's like, I just want one topic, though. Oh, that's badass, Eric. Thank you. So he put $80 in, but he just wants one topic.
So he wants 2 segments on that one topic?
Well, I don't...
doubling up on like orange chicken at Panda Express?
Maybe, or he's just giving more money because his heart's right with Jesus. Eric writes, I chipped into the Red Kettle. Here's $80. How about a Dallas Stars season update from Dave South and Oscar De La Hoya? Hope your kettle has another kick-ass run. Have a good Thanksgiving. You too, Eric. Thank you, Holmes. So he wants 2 star segments, one by Dave and one by Oscar, or just 1 star segment with both of them hosting? Well, he did put 80. Let's just do 2 to make it. I think let's just do 2.
If you could like have a conversation between the 2 about it, that would be kind of cool.
Oh God.
Yeah, like kind of like Nutty Professor style.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, okay. Oscar and Dave, maybe they're calling the game, or they're just doing like Stars talk for 5 minutes. You know.
That's a good one.
All right, we'll get to that. All right, okay, that's an example of a segment I'll do for $40. Now, I'll do 20 segments. You want to put $600 in there? That's 20 segments. That's 40 times 6. That's $600. All right? Yes, sir. Oh, look at that. Thank you, Peter Aguilar. Welcome to Tier 1. Tier 1, utterly. So anyway, so $40 a segment. There's no limit on segments because we need more. We need all the money we can get for the Red Kettle. Donate to the 3 Cents Podcast Red Kettle. It is nigh upon us. It is up and rolling. Love y'all hard. Thank you to the people who have already done this. All right. It is time for Taylor Trash.
No one told me.
Taylor Trash brought to you by the official liquor store of Thunderdome. Texas Cheer Liquor, there are 9 locations all over the city, so it does not matter where you live. There's going to be one within driving distance from you pretty quickly. And, you know, it's the day before Thanksgiving. Places will be closed tomorrow, so you need some hooch, Texas Cheer Liquor is your spot. Whether you need beer, whiskey, tequila, liqueur, whatever it is you need, they got you covered. High dollar scotch, they got it all. Hell, they even have humidors at all of the Texas Cheer Liquors. You need some cigars to ring in Thanksgiving?
Margaritas to go?
Margaritas to go? You bet your ass. Somebody asked me yesterday, how did they do margaritas to go? The way they do it is they give you the margarita stuff in the cup, the slush, and they give you the little shooters to go with it because they're not allowed to pour it in.
Yeah, the loophole.
The old loophole.
Yeah, you got to have a sealed alcohol container. So you get the tequila on the side.
My whole fucking life's been one loophole after another. That's how I'm worth $10 billion.
I want me some glory hole.
Yeah, tell them you want the margarita to go. They give you the slushy, and they give you the little shooters to go, and you pour it in later on when you get home. Good bit. Damn good bit. Or pour it in there and just walk around the mall while you're shopping or something. It's Christmas. No one know the difference. Put it in a little red cup or something. Put it in a Yeti. Nobody knows the difference. All right, so there's that. And a lot of places will be closed. So if you need some booze for tomorrow, you better get your ass out there today to Texas Cheer Liquor. Okay, it is time for Taylor Trash. All right, I've told this story before, but it's been a minute. And I'm only going to do this because it's really, really cool. I'm going to talk about me, LG.
No.
You know, I don't
no
mind
way.
talking about myself on occasion, as you know. So, I've told this story before, and it's dealing with fame. You know, I'm a famous guy.
Yes, it's a heavy burden on your shoulders. We've heard.
It's tough when you're this famous and cool and talented.
Yes, just like Nicolas Cage, the unbearable weight of massive talent.
Yeah, man, I did not ask to have this kind of talent. I didn't ask God to thunderbolt me with all this amazing ability. I just really want to be an average Joe. But it's a burden that I happily share, you know. That's why we do things for the Salvation Army, so I can get my heart right with the Lord and not turn vain. I got to be a humble, highly talented celebrity. So, and we've talked about like dealing with people that come up to you and stuff. LG gets people come up to him on occasion.
Every now and then.
Every now and then, yeah.
You know, there's some groupies. Yeah. I had more when I was a DJ, though.
Oh, well, fuck yeah. You got musical ability. Yeah. Well, Egg Roll was on overdrive. That was racist. I apologize. My tamale's going to be in overdrive the next 3 days. See, I was racist against myself to make up for it, so we're fine. We're back to square one. Dealing with fame. And not that I'm famous, but, you know, it's funny because I've talked about my boy Eddie Vedder dealing with fame. Because some people don't want the fame. But they have jobs that gets them attention. So it's like you're kind of a hypocrite if you like run from fame. Like you can make the case Tim Duncan was because Timmy hated the fame. Timmy had no time for all this attention. He had no time for the publicity and the celebrity that came with being a Spur. Or, you know, the greatest power forward of all time. But he damn sure, he didn't have to play basketball. No one put a gun to anybody's head and no one made Tim play for the Spurs. He wanted to. So, dealing with fame, when you do something crazy like this.
Well, he did have a motivator there.
$20 million a year helped, yeah, for sure. God, it's amazing. Tim made like 20 a year. Now fucking Zach LaVine makes 49.
Jake Paul makes like $50 million per fight.
Okay,
win or lose.
I know, I didn't mean to derail on that, but so I told this story where when Pearl Jam first came onto the scene back when I was, you know, a kid in high school and I was super gullible and just ready to be motivated.
Mike Taylor, Jr., second base.
That was the band that I fell the most in love with as a kid because I related to them and the stuff that they were singing about, and I got into that grunge scene that exploded in America in the 90s. And all those bands hated that it became so mainstream. Even Pearl Jam took shit from other grunge bands of the time because they were so famous so fast. Well, their music was badass. What are they supposed to do? Not play it? People loved it. So I told this story where Sony, or it was Epic, they approached the band and were like, hey, Time Magazine's going to do a piece on the grunge explosion in America. And Eddie Vedder's like, so? I don't give a shit. They're like, no, we want you guys to do the interview with the writer for Time Magazine. Ed's like, no, fuck off. I'm not talking to Time Magazine about my band. So Epic basically strong-armed Ed and got Ed to agree to talk to the reporter with one condition. They don't put his picture in the piece. Eddie finally said, "Fine, have the guy call me. I'll talk to him about the band, about the scene, but I don't want my picture in the article." And Time agreed. And so what do? They call Ed, interview him. Not only did they put his picture in the piece, they put Ed on the cover of that week's magazine. It pissed Ed off so bad. And I've told this story where Ed's sitting in a little restaurant somewhere up in Seattle, a little place he goes to where it's a lot of old people, no one knows him. And this old waitress comes up and she's like, "Hey, you're that kid I saw." "Yeah? You're on Time magazine last week." He's like, Yeah. And she's like, "Aren't you happy about that? That's awesome." He's like, "Nah, I didn't want to be on the cover." She's like, "Wait, aren't you like, you're a rock and roll singer?" "Yeah." And the waitress says something, I don't know the exact quote, but the waitress says something to the effect of, "Well, if you didn't want publicity, you sure picked the wrong business to go into." And it gave Ed perspective, and it taught him to handle some of the publicity a little easier. It comes with the territory. You don't want fame? Quit the band. You don't want to get recognized everywhere you go? Don't play in the NBA. So that was it was like, all right, cool. And from then on, Ed got a little better over the years, dealing with the attention. Anyway, so I told that story on the air earlier this year. My girlfriend was listening. My birthday is on Saturday, right? What's today, 22nd? Yeah, my birthday's Saturday. Nina went ahead and gave me my present earlier, so I wanted to brag about it. Just to prove that I'm not lying about this story, I have in my hands a copy of Time magazine dated October 25th, 1993. And she went and bought this. This is the cover I've talked about. All the Rage. This is October 1993. I was 19 years old. About that. Angry young rockers like Pearl Jam give voice to the passions and fears of a generation. It's pretty badass. It's in mint condition. Mr. A.J. Santoro, 44 Raymond Street, Stamford, Connecticut. Isn't that where they make Red Stripe beer? Stamford, Connecticut. So there, isn't that cool? It's in mint condition.
Did you mention that you almost had a heart attack this morning when you couldn't find that?
I haven't mentioned that yet, LG. Yeah,
oh, okay.
I was going to bring this I was going to bring this to the show today to do this segment, and I couldn't find it.
No, I mean, did you mention that to Nina yet? That you didn't know where it was for a little bit.
Not for a little bit. No, I haven't told her yet.
Oh, okay.
But then I realized, I probably left it at LG's house.
Yeah, okay.
And alas, I did. Yeah, almost. Yeah, I was thinking, fuck, I may have to order a new one on my own.
And not tell her, right?
Yeah, it's super cool, man. So for you Gen Xers out there that were into this scene.
Oh, you're opening it up?
Oh, yeah, it's fine. Here, pull the whole. There it is. I want to read it, dude. I'm going to flip through it. It's badass. It's going to be cool just to read the whole magazine and go back in time.
Just be careful. Don't get the pages all stuck together.
I won't. I'm not going to jerk off in it. I had just graduated from high school. It was October 93. I was going to UT Arlington, up in Arlington, Texas. I did one semester at UTA, and that was it, and I quit and transferred to the junior college.
The freaking orchestra pit basketball court they used to have up there?
They did have an orchestra pit.
Terrible.
Yeah. This is so cool. Look at that. Rock's Anxious Rebels. So bad. Look how young those kids were. Good Lord. Pretty badass. Well, this magazine smells old.
It smells like American spirits and freaking grunge.
Yeah, it smells like patchouli. Pretty badass. And I'll read a couple. I'm going to read the first two paragraphs, and then we'll get out of here. It's something called Chris Farley. Not that. Christopher John Farley is the writer. That's funny. They put his whole name so you wouldn't mistake him for the real Chris Farley, who was on SNL at the time.
Like Michael B. Jordan?
Right, Christopher John Farley. He writes, this is the story of how a gas station attendant and high school dropout grossed more than $50 million for a record company and found himself in the middle of rock's noisiest controversy. Only 3 years ago, Eddie Vedder was working the night shift at a service station in San Diego, sometimes telling people he was a security guard to impress them. He doesn't have to worry about that anymore. Today, the 28-year-old singer and lyricist for the alternative metal band Pearl Jam is rock's newest demigod. His group's debut album, 10, has sold nearly 6 million copies and still ranks in the top 30 of the Billboard album chart more than 90 weeks after its release. This week, the Seattle-based quintet will release its second album called simply Verses, which is expected to be one of the biggest selling albums of the year. This record had, Daughter on it. An elderly woman sits behind the counter in a small town. Dissident, some other badass tunes. I'll read one more quick paragraph. It says, they haven't built, this is funny. This dates it. They haven't built the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio yet. It was in the works. But when they do, they'd better save room for better. He's got all the rock idol moves down. Does he have a painful, shadowy past? Check. Does he have an air of danger and sensuality reminiscent of Jim Morrison? You bet. Does he refuse to adopt the trappings of a rock star, thus demonstrating that he's such a genuine article he doesn't need stardom? Absolutely. Is he happy to be on the cover of Time? No way. Yeah, that proves the story right there. He was so fucking pissed to be on this cover, but it is what it is. They printed it anyway. He couldn't sue him because the record company, Epic, because when they first came out, they were with a little Seattle place called Sub Pop Records. But then they blew up and got paid, and Epic was a branch of Sony in those days, and Epic allowed Time to put Eddie on the cover.
What's the date on that cover again?
October 25th, 1993.
Okay.
How old were you?
I was 10 years old.
10, yeah. I was 19. Damn.
So that's like a little less than a year before Cobain blew his head off.
Right, and in this article, and I haven't read it yet, but I remember Kurt criticized Ed for being too commercial. You know what, dude? Fuck you. You're gonna blow your brains out here in 6 months. So fuck off. Jealous asshole.
Kurt Cobain's
was a spare.
His
fucking
last
loser.
pack of American Spirit cigarettes are up for auction, by the way.
Stupid. He blows his head off and becomes this god. He was a troubled little asshole who had a very good band, but he was a troubled little piece of shit. He was a troubled, drug-addicted scumbag. Is what he was. I mean, it's just true. Kurt was a piece of shit. He was probably just jealous. Flipping through here, man. I can't read the whole thing. That's badass. And they've got in this article that on the grunge scene, they've got a bunch of bands of the time: Nirvana, Smashing Pumpkins, The Breeders, Porno for Pyros, Urge Overkill. Wow, I haven't heard about that band in forever. Soul Asylum, Stone Temple Pilots all get mentioned in this piece. Can't wait to read it. So there's that. All right, I didn't mean to get off on that. All right, so that's pretty badass. Thank you, baby. I didn't lose it. I just left it over here. I knew where it was. That's why I texted you. In a frantic scene. Could you tell that I was nervous by my texting?
Yeah, that's why.
Dude, leave a magazine over there.
That's why I put Nina's gonna be pissed, and then I waited a few minutes before I put just kidding. It's here.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. All right, what else? And we'll get the hell out of here today. I want to thank Chatterbox Studios. Yesterday we did 3 Cents Podcast, which you can go watch or listen to the latest edition of 3 Cents Podcast with me and Ernie and Clinton. We did it yesterday at a place called Chatterbox Studios. It is right near Burleson Beer Yard, right? What is that, Lamar that runs along the freeway there?
Burleson Beer Garden.
But I say yard?
Yeah.
Beer Garden. Biergarten. Right here, right there is, Mike A. That's right. Butthole Surfers. San Antonio's own Butthole Surfers.
Yep.
Right there in that little corridor of little shops there by Burleson Beer Garden is a place called Chatterbox Studios. It's a podcast studio, and we're going to start doing 3 Cents Podcast there at Chatterbox. And we started doing it yesterday, so thank you to Chatterbox for housing us yesterday. You can go watch the latest edition.
Yeah, and if you need a place to do a podcast, they are open for
Correct.
bookings.
That's what he
to the
does.
public.
Yeah, it's like it's a studio space that he loans out to people that pay a monthly fee, or you can just pay as you go. You can just do it one time. Chris Paul last season when Phoenix was in town. He was playing for the Suns. Chris Paul does a podcast. Chris used the same studio that we used yesterday. It's really, really nice. So anyhow, thank you to our boys at Chatterbox for hooking us up. All right, one more quick cowboy note. We'll roll through some chats here. So we all know that Jimmy Johnson is going to go into the Ring of Honor on December 30th. Now we now know this, and we're like, what was it that led Jerry to finally take a knee and put Jimmy in? Maybe it's because Jerry's old. You know what it is? It's not. It's partly because Jerry's old and he wants to get right with the Lord, because Jerry knows he's been a stubborn ass all these years, not letting Jimmy in the Ring of Honor when he should have been in 25 years ago. They're shooting. I keep forgetting that everywhere Jerry goes these days, there's a Netflix camera crew with him, because he's doing this documentary on his life for Netflix.
I'll do it, but I don't want none of them dead bitches in there. I don't want none of them babies I paid their mamas all these years to go away.
I bet they don't talk about that. But this is to make Jerry look good on the Netflix documentary. I wonder if Jerry does this if the Netflix camera crew is not in his ass all day long. God, it pisses me off. I mean, it's a cynical view, but it ain't because Jerry's I just love him. Yeah, whatever. It's because it'll look good on the documentary. But whatever. That gives me a sports hernia. But you know what? Jimmy's in, and that's good, and whatevs. All right, so Adrian's in here. Happy Thanksgiving to Thunderdome. Jive ass turkeys. Love y'all hard. Love you hard too. A lot of y'all saying happy Thanksgiving. I appreciate that. Gary's in here. Punch Greg Popovich. It's time to fix this stupid lineup. Jones, Wemby, Vassell, Sohan, and Collins. Keldon and Osman should be first off the bench. I agree. Keldon Johnson's Keldon Johnson is just a guy. Jetty Osman plays his balls off. He should be out there playing more. I agree. I do. A bunch of happy. Oh, y'all are so happy. No one's punching nobody today because of Thanksgiving. D'Angelo, Keldon falls to the ground and loses the ball more than he does anything else. Yeah, Keldon's just a guy out there. But, Taylor, he scores 18 points a game. Well, somebody's got to score for the worst fucking team in the league. Everybody's got a leading scorer. Keldon Johnson's not very good. DJLG called him a mediocre version of Westbrook. Yeah, I buy that. Yeah. I'm down with that. Tex-Mex Frank, Taylor, that's badass. Nina probably got you in the feels. Happy birthday, Mayor. Thank you. She gets me in all my feels. And especially on my birthday. Thank you, baby. That's really, really kick-ass. I can't wait to read that. All right, that's it. We're done, man. Good Lord. Yeah, y'all, we're not back till Monday. We're about to do a members-only show here at 11:15. I'm going to expound. I got more stuff to get into. Basically, it's just going to be an extension of this show. We're going to shoot the breeze. We're going to restart the chat. Become a member if you're not one, because at 11:15, we're going to do a members-only show, and we'll release it later to the masses, but only for members. And it's only $6. So become a member. You get all the extra Taylor in your life. As far as this show, not back with you until Monday, 10 a.m. for Knee Jerk Monday. Tomorrow, it's Thanksgiving, but I'm still going to do a little post-game chat. I will. Probably on Twitter, I'm thinking. Right after the Cowboys should beat the hell out of Washington. Probably around 6:30 or so, I'm going to do a little chat on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, tomorrow, presented by Orlando Kell. Thank you to Orlando. He is our presenting sponsor on Wednesdays, along with Texas Cheer Liquor. He brings us people I want to punch. Thank you, Orlando Kell. Thank you, Texas Cheer. Thank you, San Antonio City Soccer. Thank you, R&R Auto Glass. And thank you, Thunderdome, man. If you don't join this members-only show, that's cool. Love you hard anyway. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
And come out to the Ringer.
Safe. Oh, my God, I'm at the Ringer tonight. Shit, I'm busier now that I don't have a regular job than I ever was in the past. That's because I sell myself now. This son of a bitch is never sold. All right, tonight at the Ringer, I'm going to be there watching the Spurs. Y'all come out there and drink a beer. Love you hard. I've gotten a lot better at this YouTubing.
Oh, come back, you puppy!
Mike Taylor Live is presented by Texas Cheer Liquor.
This program was made possible by contributions from viewers and listeners like you.
Thank you.
See.
Hell, I like you. You can come over to my house and fuck my sister.
This is a Bronx-bound